ये लो। Hello, people. Hello, Suyash. Hello, Mohammed Ashir. I'm not very proficient with YouTube, so I'm just trying to set things up. Yeah, I can see myself. I can see everything on everyone. Just भी आना है. Okay. ठीक है, Akhilesh. Hopefully, all your interviews are going well. Yeah. Yeah. Hello came from notification. I can't read all messages. मोहम्मद हाशिर आपका मैसेज थोड़ा छुप रहा है. जब ऊपर हो जाएगा दिख जाएंगे. वो सीरीज दोबारा चलाएंगे पता नहीं. रुक जाओ भाई लोग, रुक जाओ, रुक जाओ, रुक जाओ. पुराना. Hello everyone. I think I'm already 2 minutes late, so let me start. This will be a very pointed and directed sessions. All the questions that you have, hold them till the end of the session when I ask you to send questions. People who have sent in questions ahead of time, first time we go through their questions. So starting off, first, what colleges should be targeted if has poor academic background? देखो, I have not edited any questions. Whatever Angrezi के errors have come through, it it is directly the question sent by students. So forgive me if the question doesn't make entire sense. But what colleges should be targeted if one has poor academic background? Uh, to the best of my understanding, best college that can be targeted if one has poor academic background. The answer is dependent on how poor. If you have 75 plus in 10th and 12th, then FMS can be targeted. If you have 80 plus, then IIM Calcutta can be targeted. मतलब, but if you have 50 54 in 10th and 12th, and in graduation you have another bad number, then it becomes progressively more challenging for you to get to exceedingly good B schools. So my honest answer to this question is I need more data. But for the more overarching answer would be, see, you can't really go back and change your academic background. Whatever score you have, you have. Right now, there are a few parameters that you can work upon. The first being the entrance exam score, CAT exam score. Secondly, the GDPI rounds, as and when the time comes, prepare well for them. When we say prepare well for the GDPI rounds, you have to be aware of what is happening in the world. You also need to be aware of who and what you are, why you're doing whatever you're doing. If you have clarity on those aspects, it becomes progressively easier for you to get to whatever B school you get a shortlist from. If you have a poor academic background, of course, there will be challenges with regards to shortlisting. But then within the limited shortlist that you have, in order to convert the best call, have a little bit of self-reflection, a little bit of internal thought thinking, wherein you are looking for what motivates you, what drives you. If you have answers to those questions, the likelihood of you being able to get to a good B school becomes higher. Second question is how to build the logical thinking. See, logical thinking, some people are blessed with insanely good logical thinking right from their childhood. They may not be academically inclined, as in they don't score very well in school, yet when you ask them puzzles, they do wonderfully well. So if you belong to that group, then it is smooth sailing for you. However, I think if you're asking this question, it is unlikely you belong to that group. Now, just like any other skill, just like any other skill, be it playing guitar, be it playing cricket, be it debating, you get better at something by repeated practice. And when we say repeated practice, it cannot possibly be blind practice. It has to be practice wherein you do some degree of practice. You also sit down, analyze, and identify, okay, these are the skills, these are the areas in which I can get better at. And then you work upon those skills. You, let's say, within LRDI, for reference, a lot of times people makes the same error, then they look at the solution, and then instead of making a note of, okay, these are the kind of errors I make usually, they say, my luck is bad. The question was very weird. Look for areas in which you have influence over instead of areas in which you can allocate blame to external factors. That will help you build logical thinking. Next, how to cover syllabus quickly, 3 to 4 months, without compromising on quality of preparation. See, as much as I would love it if you can cover syllabus 3 to 4 months quickly, I have very little information in terms of, are you enrolled in a coaching? Are you not enrolled in a coaching? Have you taken CAT earlier? Have you not taken CAT earlier? Have you generally been intelligent in your life? As in logical thinking is in place, or is logical thinking not in place? Depending upon the answer to that question, your 3 to 4 month estimation may not be accurate. For some people, it takes them 8 months to prepare for the theory portion. For some people, it takes barely 2 months. But if you're starting off with without doing a self analysis of whether you can do it in 3 to 4 months, it will be a problem. Now, if you were doing it in a lower amount of time, understand there are no quick fixes. The steps remain the same. You go through the basic theory portion, you do a few practice questions around it. When you feel you're reasonably confident in that area, you move on to the next topic. Then you do the theory portion, then you do a few practice questions. When you feel you're reasonably confident, then you move to the next topic. And you keep doing it without fail on a loop until it gets over. For some people, that duration will be 3 to 4 months. For some people, that duration will be 6 months. For some people, that duration might be 1 month because they are insanely intelligent from the first day itself. So, depending upon what intelligence spectrum you lie on, that will define how much time it should take you. Do not start off with कि नहीं मेरे को 3 से 4 महीने में खत्म करना ही है. It's very much like my favorite parallel world is cricket. ये समझो, if you are a Rahul Dravid, you cannot bat like Virender Sehwag, or how do I put it? If you are, let's say, which bats? I don't know the latest players. So I know Rahul Dravid, you can't bat like a Virender Sehwag. And if you're a Virender Sehwag, you can't bat like a Rahul Dravid. Know what kind of role you can play and accordingly adjust. It shouldn't take more than 8 months. It shouldn't take more than 8 months for anyone with even below par intelligence, but not an absolute idiot. It should not take more than 8 months. At the same time, having a preconceived notion of, no, in this much time I have to finish it, that is a flawed idea, and I wouldn't possibly recommend it. Okay. Next question: does the gap year after class 12th matters? Plus, if being from a specific stream, let's say humanities, what would that be considered as a negative thing in selection process? Are study loans worth it? These questions give us the impression that currently, we are absolutely starting the prep, and these questions are, see, does the gap after class 12 matters? Yes, it matters in the sense that you're older now. You are 1 year. You have spent one more year on this planet. In terms of academic or weightage being given at the time of selection process, no, this does not have any factor. Plus, if being from a specific stream, let's say humanities, would that be considered as a negative thing? It doesn't matter what background you're from, it matters what your degree of academic achievement is relative to the other people from your background. Let's say if you're from humanities and your graduation percentage is 52% versus somebody else is from humanities and their graduation percentage is 78%. Of course, the guy at 78 is getting an advantage. Just because you're from a particular background, you don't get an advantage, you don't get a disadvantage. Within the group that you're competing in, you have to be at the top. Okay. In fact, a more reasonable take on this is if you're not from engineering background, any other background, he perhaps has a clearer advantage because the engineering pool of applicants is so high. In order to rise to the top there, the competition is more severe. At the same time, when you're looking at humanities or let's say agriculture or law or medicine, if you have people from those backgrounds, the competition pool is lower, so numerically, it is easier. But then again, that does not necessarily make it absolutely easier because you don't know what kind of people you're competing with. So humanities would not hold you back. Last, are study loans worth it? Um, Depends on where you're applying that study loan. If you're if you're taking up a study loan for, let's say, 40 lakhs and you're going to a tier 5 college, then of course it is not worth it. But if you're taking a study loan for going to, let's say, an Ahmedabad, acha, study loans are worth it or not worth it would also depend on how much are you utilizing it appropriately. Let's say you study your ass off, you do very well in the entrance exam, you go to the B school, and there you take it light. I will not study anymore. Okay, I have come here, they will place me, everything will fall into place. Then you might end up being one of those rare few people who get removed from IIMs and top B schools. Because understand, the achievement is not getting into a B school, the achievement is not even getting a placement, the achievement is a life well lived. Life well lived, the first step is right now, whatever you're doing every day, do it properly, be it studying, be it preparing, be it talking to people, maintaining relationships, do everything well in life. That is the ultimate goal. In order to fulfill those goals, it would be nicer if we have more money. And one of the paths that we have identified by which we can earn more money is MBA. If those ideas are clear in your head, then it would be worthwhile. In case you want to be a musician, in case you want to be a painter, then study loan for MBA is definitely not worth it. And then again, quality beats everything else in the world. I don't know if it answers your question appropriately, but in terms of pure maths, let's say you go to a top 10 B school and you take a loan of whatever amount, let's say 28 lakhs, and then the package that you get placed at is 16 lakhs. And then let's say it should take you 4 to 5 years to pay off your loan appropriately, mathematics wise. But then understand there are a lot of ifs included in between. There are a lot of ifs. You have to go to a top 10 B school, you have to do well there. 16 lakhs is, of course, a bad outcome for you from a B school, but then you continue to do well in the corporate world, then the loan would be worth it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. Okay. Next set of questions. Is it true that your relative performance today, say for a 99 percentiler, and 7 to 8 months later will stay same, irrespective of how much you prepare, because everyone is putting the effort? Uh, यहाँ पे हम एक खतरनाक ही यहाँ पे दुनिया बदल रही है. Not everyone is putting in the same effort. That is where differences creep in. So your fate is sealed even before you start your preparation. Spoken like a true person who has not started preparation. Is it like you're running not to overtake others but to only maintain your position? Have there been cases where a person gets 95 percentile like score in initial few mocks and then hits the 99.9 percentile mark over their journey by putting in efforts? If not, what is the point of study and why this asymmetry of knowledge and caliber in this world? Very existential question in its nature. If you truly believe this, then there is no point in preparing for anything in this world unless you are excellent from day one in everything. Don't try it at all. But then that is not how you've lived your life. The first day you were playing cricket with your friends, you did not know how to hold a bat. You wouldn't even remember the first day, because right at the beginning, the target was enjoy. Let's see what we can make out of it. When it comes to cat, for some reason, we need to be perfect from day one. And there have been numerous instances of people getting 95 percentile like score in initial few marks and then reaching the 100 percentile. Numerous instances. So, given that you are already inclined towards believing that preparation will serve no purpose, and whatever you believe is accurate, because beliefs are not subject to fact checks. अगर लगता है कि तैयारी से फायदा नहीं है तो मत करो, अगर लगता है तैयारी से फायदा है तो करो. इनफैक्ट इसका रिवर्स सोचना, there are lots of people who get 99 percentile in 1 year and the next year they end up scoring far lower because complacency creeps in, and in the next year they think ना इतना तो आ ही गया था, इतना काम करके नेक्स्ट ईयर में हम खेल ही लेंगे. Does not work that way. In order to be good at something, you have to put in efforts in those direction, and efforts lead to a lot of improvement. Asymmetry of knowledge, I like the phrase. I'm not sure the spelling is correct, but I like the phrase. But asymmetry of knowledge अगर exist नहीं करती दुनिया में भाई, तो बहुत दिक्कत रहती. Asymmetry of knowledge is asymmetry of knowledge leads to meritocracy. If there was no asymmetry of knowledge, if it was perfectly available, everyone was consuming it in perfect perfect equality, we would be in a state where everyone is equal in opportunity and capability, which is absolutely weird. Anyway, what should we do to improve our DILR solving skill? Uh, Two things. First, make sure you go through the theory portion. One of the weirdest advices I've heard online and in Telegram groups is start picking past year mock papers, start doing past year cat papers. While those are excellent resources to practice at, they're not the good place to start at. And the good place to start at is doing basic stuff. Once you're comfortable with the basic stuff, then move on to more difficult stuff. Don't start off at absolutely difficult things and then do it repeatedly. The only way you get better at a skill is by doing it repeatedly. The more you do it, the better you get at it. No other wonderful insight for this front. Okay, creation of notes while skimming through reading comprehension passages is helpful or not, and how to efficiently eliminate the wrong options in RCs. Uh, I don't know if it is universally true or not, but creation of notes, I don't skim through an RC passage at all. As in my solving, I never skim through RC passages. The only time I used to do skimming through RC passages was in IFT, the paper which has been discontinued, because there you had a lot of fact-based questions. Now that there are interpretation-heavy questions being asked in CAT and ZAT, the two primary exams that I focus on, it does not make sense to skim through the passages. So skimming is not even useful. But when I was practicing and I was getting better at RCs, in the initial, let's say 80 to 100 RCs, I made notes. I definitely made notes. But and what that helped me do is helped me create a mental map of what all is present wherever, where is it present, and when I'm analyzing and I'm checking whether my answers are right or wrong, it helped me identify, okay, this is the portion that I misunderstood in the question, this is the portion I misunderstood in the options. The challenge with creation of notes, or the general objection that people have, is it takes up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of time. We are beginning, given that we are starting off learning a skill, it will take us a lot of time. Even if an RC passage ends up taking you, let's say, 30 to 40 minutes right now, because you are creating notes and you are doing all sorts of working around it, that is perfectly all right. Because once you do the initial hard work, then at a later point of time, now when I'm doing RCs, I make small little identifier marks of paragraphs in my head, and I move on to the next thing. And I my channel has a lot of DILR content, has a lot of QA content, but historically in every cat that I've taken, I score higher in English. I don't know technical English, but my RC, the fact that I do close to 800 and 900 RCs every year, that helps me immensely. And now I don't make notes. In the initial skill building phase, notes making was something I did. Now that I have done this for years now. I don't make notes. But the challenge is people see the current and then expect, oh, ये आप नहीं notes बना रहे तो हम भी नहीं बनाएंगे. मत बनाओ, इच्छा है. I am not the perfect person for अंग्रेजी anyway. Okay, let's go. Next page. As someone who's self-preparing from scratch, can I crack CAT? I don't know you. As someone who's self-preparing for CAT, can that person crack CAT? Yes, but then again, a lot of factors come in. What is your level of familiarity with the paper? What are the sources you're taking guidance from? Is your aptitude good or is your aptitude compromised? So depending on those factors, can it be done? Can it not be done? That can a claim can be made. Is it possible? Yes. Will you be able to do it? You would need to make an honest assessment of how skilled and how informed you are about this. So that will be the advice for that person. Next, a few coaching and people have now circulated a quite popular strategy that you only need to do 888 for 99 percentile, and that in quants you can just do algebra and arithmetic and leave the rest, because at the end, if you only do 6 to 7 questions, you'll be still scoring 99 percentile overall. After CAT 2023, does these so-called generalized strategies hold any value? These generalized so-called strategies did not hold any value even prior to CAT 2023. This is a strategy of a popular YouTuber, or let's say education influencer, or let's say snake oil salesman, because anybody worth their salt, anybody who has prepared for CAT appropriately will tell you, you can't walk into the exam hall with a predetermined number of questions that you're going to attempt. Let's say you walk into the exam hall, I will do the best I can, and you end up knowing only 6 7 questions in quant, that is fine. But beforehand, if you think I will do 888, oh, absolutely stupid. Additionally, this nonsense of you can do algebra and arithmetic, leave the rest. Uh, if you think this works, try it. And then next year, again try it. And the next year after that, again try it, because this will never work. See, as soon as you start off your preparation by saying, I will compromise on the effort that I will put in, the result is also getting compromised simultaneously. If somebody is unwilling to do work for the other topics that are known to be included, how well do you think they will complete algebra, or how well do you think they will complete arithmetic? Additionally, quant is not like a standalone idea. Algebra has bits of number theory built in, algebra has bits of mm, geometry built in, modern math built in, arithmetic has lots of number system built in, lots of geometry built in. There are so many things that will have, there are so many things that will be there included. So you say, no, I will do it exclusively algebra and arithmetic. It's like dish banane ke liye. Ooh, the best analogy I could think of. Let's say in your meal, let's say in the meal that you're eating, there is some carrot, there is some potato, there is some peas, there is some everything. Now you say, no, no, for my calorie input, I will only need potato and salt. And all the taste is gone. Now the dish that you end up preparing, the sabji that you are preparing, will be absolutely horrendous. Yet, no, calorie content so mera meat ho hi gaya tha. That is a stupid idea. I would rather see इस क्वेश्चन के बाद आई फील कि भाई ऐसे पॉपुलर स्ट्रेटजी वालों से बच के रहो, ज्यादा फायदा है. ये नहीं काम करता. दिस नेवर वर्क्स. दिस नेवर वर्क्स. Okay, next question. I have graduated in June 2023 and appeared for CAT that same year. D-Day went bad. Okay, I want to take another shot at it. What kind of jobs can a BCom graduate get, and in which sectors? Also, if I don't get a job, will doing a diploma courses in this 8 to 10 months time frame help me justify my gap year? Uh, when you have questions like these, I don't know what kind of jobs they can get. Financial analyst jobs also. They can get personal assistant jobs also. They can get peon jobs also. BCom graduates can get all sorts of jobs. It would depend on what skill you have and what sort of connections you have, where all you can apply. So you can get jobs of all nature. Depends on your academic profile, depends upon the profile of your institution, depends upon what sort of extracurricular activities you participated in. If you've published a lot of research papers, then film companies might be interested in taking a shot at you, especially boutique firms, not the establishment but boutique firms. But if you've done nothing in your BCom graduation, then it will be a challenge. And this idea, what can I do to justify my gap year, as soon as you start off the question with uh, I have to justify my gap year. Understand, in the interview process, when they're asking you what were you doing in the interim period, what they're looking for is how did you productively utilize your time. If your intent was to simply justify the gap, then it was not productive utilization of time. Somebody could very well be doing a music course. Somebody could very well be doing a music course in the interim period, and that is fine. If in the long run they have something to do with related to music. If you're doing a diploma course in, let's say, Python or R or some programming language or some cryptocurrency trading based stupid thing, or all those fake millionaire gurus follow my advice and you will become mega rich, and I'm sharing this with you for free, the Dev Ghadvis of the world. If you're doing something of that nature, if it doesn't align with your long-term career vision and you're doing something, then it will backfire on you greatly. Let's say if you end up doing a video editing course, if you end up doing a video editing course and your long-term target is to get into investment banking, there is absolutely no link to this. And doing a diploma course, see, if you want to get into, let's say, interior designing, you want to start your own interior designing firm, and you've done an interior designing diploma course in the interim period. Oh, what a wonderful utilization of your time. So you've done the interior designing, the artistic side of learning you've done. Now you're coming to learn the business side of things. Then it makes sense. You don't have to justify the gap. There is a need for you to do that additional activity. So when you say I have to justify my gap year by doing a diploma course, the intent has to be I have to utilize my time appropriately, not to justify my gap year. Okay. Additionally, see the fact that your question has what kind of jobs can a become graduate get, and in the following line, also if I don't get a job, it's just starting off by assuming defeat in that matter. Reach out to 100 people, perhaps two will reply on LinkedIn. I mean, reach out to 100 people, perhaps two will reply. Try to impress them with whatever you have to offer. It doesn't have to be a very well paying job, but get a job, get a job. 2 years of gap. By the time you appear for interviews, you will have roughly 2 years of gap, which is not ideal. Okay, next set of questions. My question is, I left my job in Feb 2023, 18 months of experience for full-time cat prep. But on D-Day, I got panicked and end up scoring low percentile. Want to give another try this year, but can't join my job again as I belong to hospitality sector, 10 to 12 working hours. It will be very hard for me to prep again. What should I do now? Should I join NG or any internship or do any online course or something else to utilize my gap year so that if I get a call from my dream school, I can convince them about my gap year? But, a slightly different टेक ऑन दिस, एक तो पिछले वाले क्वेश्चन पे जो भी बोला था ऑल ऑफ इट वुड बी एप्लीकेबल. गैप को फिल करने के लिए कुछ करने का काम मत करो, कुछ ऐसा काम करो जो तुम्हारे लिए मीनिंगफुल हो. उससे ज्यादा, सी इफ यू लेफ्ट योर जॉब इन February 2023 फॉर फुल टाइम कैट prep and you only scored poorly because on the D day you got panicked. That implies from February to November, you put in a lot of dedicated hours, you put in a lot of effort, and you have done wonderful work in preparing for CAT at that time. तो फिर भाई इस साल ज्यादा टाइम देने की जरूरत तो पड़ेगी नहीं. मॉक्स एंड एनालिसिस इज द ओनली एक्टिविटी दैट यू वुड नीड टू एंगेज इन. देन व्हाई कांट वी जॉब जॉइन आवर जॉब अगेन, एंड इफ वी हैव टू स्टडी ऑल ओवर अगेन, तब फिर पुरानी बात पे जाके पलटना. आई गॉट पैनिक्ड ऑन डी डे, फिर इशू नहीं था, फिर अपनी पढ़ाई में ही कॉम्प्रोमाइज था, वो मानना. क्योंकि दोनों बातें साथ में साइमल्टेनियसली सच नहीं हो सकती. साथ साथ 10 से 12 घंटे इज नॉट अ लॉट ऑफ वर्किंग आवर्स फॉर इंडियन ग्रेजुएट पीपल. Working for 10 to 12 hours in a day is not a lot of working hours. Most, as in lots of people who go to B schools have this 10 to 12 working hours. अगर ज्वाइन कर सकते वापस से नौकरी तो कर लेना, अगर ज्वाइन कर सकते तो वापस से कर लेना. अदरवाइज वट एवर अदर कनेक्शन यू हैव इन हॉस्पिटैलिटी सेक्टर, कोई तो होगा ही, कुछ तो किसी को तो जानते ही होंगे, उनको बोलना कि भाई मेरे को लेसर पे लेकिन लेसर वर्कलोड के साथ अगर रख सको, क्योंकि अगर आपका सेक्टर है हॉस्पिटैलिटी, आप वहां पे 18 महीने का एक्सपीरियंस ले चुके हैं। अब ये समझना, एनजीओज एंड इंटर्नशिप्स एंड ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज, इफ यू आर डूइंग समथिंग दैट इज अलाइंड विथ योर लॉन्ग टर्म गोल, तब तो ठीक है। बट इफ यू आर डूइंग इट सिंपली टू फिल अप अ गैप, इट गेट्स स्पॉइल्ड आउट वेरी इजीली, स्पेशली एनजीओ की काम। देखो एनजीओ के साथ काम करना कॉलेज में कर सकता था आदमी, उस टाइम पे हमने कुछ नहीं करा एनजीओ का, लेकिन हमने जब नौकरी छोड़ दिया, जब हम कैट की तैयारी कर रहे थे, तब हमने एनजीओ को ज्वाइन कर लिया। It becomes very, very apparent that this was done with the intent to deceive, not necessarily provide any useful benefit to the NGO that we have joined. So this has become very apparent. It's as good as मतलब आई डोंट नो तुम्हारी जनरेशन के साथ ही होता है कि नहीं, मतलब हमारे हमारे स्कूल टाइम में ना, हमारे स्कूल टाइम में पीपल इन क्लास 10th to 12th, उस उम्र में देयर लॉट्स ऑफ, किसी की गर्लफ्रेंड नहीं होती थी, लेकिन सबकी गर्लफ्रेंड रहती थी दूसरे स्कूल में, सबको पता था स्कैम चल रहा है। तो लोग थे बोलते ठीक है भाई जाओ, माफ किया तेरे को। बट डूइंग एन इंटर्नशिप इन एन एनजीओ इज अकिन टू दैट, सबको पता है स्कैम ही चल रहा है, अनलेस यू हैव डन exceedingly खतरनाक काम। So going volunteering to teach for 2 hours in a week does not justify your gap at all. I would much rather recommend you join the hospitality sector, talk to people, get perhaps a compromised role, do some unique service that nobody else can offer, maybe do some inventory management, maybe do some uh, कुछ काम जो भी उनका खोज के कर सको, वो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा। ओके, नेक्स्ट पर्सन। How should I balance coaching and self-study? I want to complete syllabus till April, but my coaching is going very slow and will complete syllabus till August only. What should be my plan? Um, Again, the challenge here is I don't know what level of intelligence you're at, but given the framing of the question, I'm guessing the classes are moving at a slower pace than what you would want, and you want to complete a syllabus as early as possible. I don't know when you started. So let's say if you started sometime in August last year, तो अब तक मेन पोर्शंस ऑफ योर कोर्स हो गए होंगे, एज इन शुरुआत का। मोर देन किसी भी कोचिंग में जाके ना, देर इज अ पोर्शन ऑफ थ्योरी कवरेज, देर इज अ पोर्शन ऑफ थ्योरी कवरेज, बट वॉट यू शुड आइडियली बी टेकिंग अवे फ्रॉम एनी कोचिंग सेटअप इज what is how to study, how to cover a topic as soon, and with that input try to cover it to the best of your ability, अपने से ही बुक्स या वट एवर अदर मटेरियल्स यू हैव एक्सेस टू, उनसे कवर कर लो और फिर प्रैक्टिस करना चालू कर दो। देयर विल बी इंस्टेंसेस वेयर थिंग्स विल अपीयर आउट ऑफ रीच, नहीं आ रहा, नहीं हो रहे, ठीक है, उनको साइड करके रख लेना, बट देन यू शुडंट बी रनिंग इन ब्लाइंड, एंड इफ यू हैव टू बैलेंस योर कोचिंग एंड सेल्फ स्टडी, इफ, अच्छा यहाँ पे ये भी समझना, क्वेश्चन के अंदर वो लॉजिकल इनकंसिस्टेंसी क्या दिख रहा है। If you're reaching a point where you have to balance coaching and self-study, it means coaching is giving you enough work to keep you occupied for extended period of time. So if coaching is giving you enough work to keep you busy for extended period of time, how can you say your coaching is going very slow? As in, if the coaching is going very slow, then you would have lots of free time. If the coaching is not going very slow, then focus on whatever your institution is telling you to do. I don't know the institutions. I hope it is a good place. I hope it is um, giving you the appropriate guidance, and completing syllabus till August. And I'm hoping when we say completing this completing syllabus to August का जो काम है, I'm guessing it is for the theory portion and it wouldn't be similar across the board. DILR and VRC तो से बहुत पहले हो जाएगा, and जहाँ पे भी है DILR और VRC उससे पहले हो जाएंगे, QA का थोड़ा पीछे चल रहा होगा, लेकिन खिंच तो जाए, मतलब जल्दी तो कर ही सकते हो उससे। What should be my plan? Find time, as in एक्स्ट्रा वाले बाहर वाले काम के लिए भी ना थोड़ा डेडलाइन के साथ काम करना। व्हेन वी हैव अ फ्री रेन वी टेंड टू नॉट बी दैट डेडिकेटेड, वी टेंड टू नॉट बी दैट क्या बताए, टाइम बाउंड इन आवर अप्रोच। थोड़ा बाहर का भी टाइमिंग के साथ रखना। अगेन टाइमिंग को मैच करने के लिए अंडरस्टैंडिंग मत कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना, लेकिन थोड़ा सा टाइमिंग का बाहर का काम रखना। एंड whatever style of studying works for you, I'm guessing that you would have identified it by now. Whatever style of studying, थोड़ा सा theory coverage करना, whatever material you're referencing. I don't know what sources you are referring to, लेकिन देख लेना. I cannot possibly uh, say one source is better than the other. There are some sources that are absolutely trash. उनसे दूर रहना, बाकी जो भी ठीक लगे. Okay, what sort of teaching principle is followed for DILR, specifically in Anastasis Academy, and how many sets practice do we require for mastering DILR? Uh, I haven't mastered DILR so far after having done in excess of 4,000 sets. So I don't know how to answer this question. I am reasonably confident in my DILR solving ability, but haven't mastered it. That is the distinction. And what sort of teaching principle is followed for DILR specifically in Anastasis Academy? प्रिंसिपल तो भाई समझाएंगे, बेसिक से चालू करेंगे, फिर धीरे धीरे करके हायर लेवल तक लेके जाएंगे, टफ सवाल देंगे, सिखाएंगे, रिकॉर्डिंग कैसे करते हैं इस पे ध्यान देंगे, ऑल सॉर्ट्स ऑफ थिंग्स. सो देयर इज अ वीडियो ऑन द चैनल अबाउट टीचिंग फिलोसफी. देयर इज अ वीडियो ऑन द चैनल मतलब जिस टाइम पे 2021 में एनालिसिस एकेडमी का पहला बैच आया था, प्रोजेक्ट बीटा 1, तो वहाँ उसी टाइम पे एक टीचिंग फिलोसफी वाला वीडियो निकाला था. वो सर्च कर लेना. दैट शुड टेल यू माय टीचिंग फिलोसफी, टीचिंग प्रिंसिपल. दैट इज लाइक द ओवरऑल थिंग. डीआईएलआर के अंदर भी थिंक ऑफ इट दैट वे, प्रिसाइसली सेम चीज ही चलेगी. आई एम ऑल्सो होपफुल whenever you get a chance, whenever you get a chance, you also ask the same question. What is the teaching principle followed for DILR? मतलब ठीक है. एंड आई थिंक ये लास्ट पेज है. करते हैं. 10th 71, 12th 66, graduation 69, 2029. आई एम गेसिंग यू आर टाइपिंग 2020. फोन पे टाइप कर रहे होगे तो 90 मिल गया होगा. कंप्लीटेड बीकॉम ईडब्ल्यूएस फीमेल, फिर प्राइवेट स्कूल में टीचिंग की, रेगुलर बेस ऑलमोस्ट 2024. आई डोंट नो. ऑलमोस्ट 2024 जस्ट स्टार्टेड, तो ऑलमोस्ट टिल 2024 कितनी परसेंटाइल लानी होगी ब्लैकी के लिए, या फिर पॉसिबल ही नहीं है? The only place where you will possibly have a chance is if you get like a 99.99 for C. Otherwise, it is unlikely you will get a call from any of the places. That is, हाँ. और कहीं 99.99 लाना पड़ेगा तब जाके. 99.99 भी नहीं, अभी डब्ल्यू एस भी तो है, तो 99.90 लाना पड़ेगा सी के लिए, वरना BLAKI इम्पॉसिबल है. देन अगेन, ये समझना भाई, जिंदगी में हमने 10वीं में हमारा नंबर कंपेयर टू अदर्स कम है, 12th में हमारा नंबर कंपेयर टू अदर्स कम है, ग्रेजुएशन में हमारा नंबर कंपेयर टू अदर्स कम है, लेकिन टॉप का भी स्कूल जाना है मेरे को. वाइल दैट एस्पिरेशन इज गुड, ऑल्सो बी रियलिस्टिक इन टर्म्स ऑफ, देखो, पुराने पापों के चक्कर में आगे भी दिक्कत आएगी. नाउ इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग कि नहीं ब्लैक ही जाना है, इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग ब्लैक ही जाना है, जान लगा दो. अगर 99.90 ले आए तो नथिंग लाइक इट, दुनिया का मुंह बंद हो जाएगा, मेरा मुंह बंद हो जाएगा, सब चलेगा. लेकिन अभी पहले अपनी तरफ से जान लगा के जितनी परसेंटाइल ला सकते ले आते हैं, और उसके बाद देखते हैं व्हाट इज द बेस्ट बी स्कूल वी कैन गो टू. B schools are okay with giving people a chance to revive their career or do something wonderful, but then you have to showcase to them that you have turned it around by being average all throughout your academic life. And now, even in CAT, let's say you get a 99.1 percentile. Based on last year's score, that would be around 2500 ish rank, based on last year's CAT. अब 2500 की रैंक आ रही है हमारी, लेकिन हमें चाहिए ब्लैक की, तो नहीं होने वाला. बहुत बहुत गैप है वहां पे. तो कोशिश करेंगे ऐसा लाने का कि हम टॉप 200-300 रैंक्स के अंदर घुस जाएं, फिर कोई बात करने को लिए रेडी भी रहेगा. अब प्रिसाइज देख, दिस इज बेस्ड ऑन माय cursory अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ एडमिशन क्राइटेरिया फॉर दिस साइकिल. maybe the maths bears out that it is more favorable for you. But then again, I would say जितना ज्यादा ला सकते हो उतना ज्यादा लाने की कोशिश करते हैं, कम लाने का क्यों सोचेंगे. 99.90 is your bare minimum target, and even 99.90 doesn't really guarantee it. क्या पता उतने में भी ना हो. Okay, will practice material modules be shared for each other three sections on a regular basis so that we don't fall short on any practice material? Yes. The one thing that you will never hear from any past AA student is practice material kam tha. Practice material is more than what a student can do because we do it levels wise बहुत सारा. अब let's say नंबर सिस्टम के इतने प्रैक्टिस के सवाल दे देते हैं ताकि किसी को नंबर सिस्टम में कमी लग रही है, नंबर सिस्टम में वीकनेस लग रही है, दैट पर्सन वांट्स टू डू अ लॉट ऑफ नंबर सिस्टम versus somebody who wants to do a lot of practice in algebra. Both of them have enough work available, but say your number system is great, you don't want to practice as much, तो वहां पे कम करो, algebra में ज्यादा करो, चलेगा. So there is so much material available कि खत्म तो नहीं होगा तुमसे. There is no person who has completed all the practice material in all the time that we have been operational, so that is not really something you should be worried about. देखी जाएगी. How will the mocks take place? If we only buy the DILR course, will I be entitled to appear for full length mocks as well? The mocks will take place on the website, and if you only buy the DILR course, you will not be entitled to appear for full length mocks. Full length mocks, full course लेने वालों को है. DILR का course ले तो DILR के mocks मिलेंगे. Hello sir, I took CAT coaching last year and got 90.26 percentile. Do you think it is advisable for me to join coaching this year also? Obviously yours, or just continue by self-prep? थोड़ा सा सेल्समैन टाइप का है ये सब जवाब, तो समझना. I don't know why you got 90.26. Did you get 90.26 because it was a bad day? Did you get 90.26 because your fundamentals are not in place? Did you get 90.26 because your test taking needs refinement? Depending upon what sort of help do you need and how can you get that help. If that help is something you can manage by yourself, तब फिर मत ज्वाइन करो. और अगर कभी ये लगता है कि नहीं, आई नीड एक्सटर्नल इनपुट, तब फिर ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. तो आई डोंट नो विच साइड ऑफ द स्पेक्ट्रम यू फॉलो. 90.26 is not bad. 90.26 is not great. The very fact that you are reappearing should tell you that. But is it advisable to join coaching or not, इसके लिए बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए तुम्हारी, और वो तो है नहीं. इस पे काम चल जाएगा. Last, I turned 25. Last two attempts wasted. Prepared but not performed on details. Should I go for one more attempt with 36 months working still now? Uh, if whatever you're planning to do in your life, whatever nature of work you want to pursue, that would be aided by you doing an MBA, then yes, prepare once more. If what you're planning to do in life, जो तुम्हें करने का मन है, उसमें कोई लेना देना नहीं MBA का, फिर मत करो. As in, don't see age is not a factor. There are people who do MBA at 30 years of age, 32 years of age, 35 years of age. उसका लोड नहीं है. Whether it serves your purpose. Remember, when you go for अभी ये इंटरव्यू का क्या नहीं समझता. When interviewers are asking you, why do you want to do an MBA? They're not really asking for you to बखान करो एमबीए इतना महान क्यों है, एमबीए कोर्स से क्या क्या फायदे, मल्टी फेसेटेड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द बिजनेस वर्ल्ड, इंटरैक्टिंग विद डिस्टिंग्विश्ड alumni, esteemed faculty, peer group, ये सब हवाबाजी की बातें नहीं करनी होती. What they're asking is सीधी सीधा, what are you planning to do in the long run and how would MBA help you in achieving that goal in the most efficient manner possible. If your long-term goal can be achieved most efficiently by doing an MBA, then do an MBA. Prepare for it all over again. Additionally, the information given here is last two attempts wasted. So, was it wasted, prepared but not performed on D-Day? They, as soon as it turns two, as soon as it turns two attempts में ऐसा हो गया, then we can't really boil it down to luck. एक दिन रैंडम हो सकता है, 2 दिन रैंडम नहीं हो सकते. 2 दिन रैंडम हो रहे, इसका मतलब है कि द स्किल इज मिसिंग. तो डोंट गिव योरसेल्फ द बेनिफिट ऑफ द डाउट. पुट इन अ लॉट. इफ एमबीए मेक सेंस, बहुत सारी मेहनत करो, बहुत सारी तैयारी करो, और लग पड़ो तैयारी में. That is the end of the PPT that I have. And now I will open the YouTube questions. देखते हैं क्या क्या है अभी तक. हेलो क्लिंटन. हेलो जोरो. मोहम्मद हशीर. सर कैट दिया था, काफी बुरा परफॉर्मेंस रहा है डीआईएलआर में. आपके यूट्यूब सेट्स हेल्पफुल है, इस साल फिर दूंगा. वो सीरीज दोबारा चलाएंगे क्या? पता नहीं. अगर चलाएंगे तो आ जाएगी इंफॉर्मेशन. आई मेरे यूट्यूब सेट्स तो जितने हैं वो हैं. देर आर टू प्लेलिस्ट. एक वो डेली डीआईएलआर वाला, एक प्राइम पजल्स है. देख लेना. वट एवर, आई थिंक 250 कुछ सेट्स हैं वहाँ पे. उसके अलावा इधर उधर ही कुछ कुछ करते रहते हैं. अगर दोबारा चलेगा तो बता देंगे. Uh, Aditya Sanwal 999 male EWS. How much should I aim for black key IIM? 99.99. एम करने की बात है तो फिर तो जितना एम कर सकते हो करो. साथ के साथ ये समझना, ग्रेजुएशन का 9 इज वंडरफुल. 10वीं 12वीं का 91 और 94 में बहुत फर्क है. 91 इज नॉट गुड, 94 इज गुड. 90.21 इज नॉट गुड, 95 इज गुड. तो 999 पूरा पता नहीं. As of now, given we are at the beginning of the preparation cycle, target as much as you possibly can get in the CAT exam. पहले से ही don't bind yourself down to नहीं इतना लाना है मेरे को, उससे ज्यादा भी लाएंगे तो अच्छा चलेगा. Tanish, I have given CAP, Amritsar, Rohtak and some other interviews at 97.18. If I am taking IIM Amritsar over other better IIMs due to some familial obligations, how much will it set me back? समझो कितना ज्यादा लैक ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन है इस सवाल में. आई डोंट नो व्हाट योर फेमिलियल ऑब्लिगेशंस आर. एंड देख इस पे इट इज हाईली अनलाइकली यू विल कन्वर्ट रोहतक. इतना तो हम भरोसा दे रहे थे. वो तो नहीं हो रहा. इफ यू एंड अप टेकिंग अमृतसर, देख अमृतसर का टॉप वाला बंदा इज गोइंग टू परफॉर्म बेटर देन लेट्स से ट्रिची का एवरेज वाला बंदा. यू कैन गो टू अमृतसर एंड डू एक्सेप्शनली वेल. यू कैन गो टू अमृतसर एंड डू एक्सेप्शनली वेल इज वेल. लेकिन ये समझना, a lot of decisions that we make a lot of decisions that we make in our life, we think ये डिसीजन सही है कि गलत है. मेरे को अभी भी इसको जाना चाहिए, नहीं जाना चाहिए, ये वाला ज्वाइन करे, वो वाला ज्वाइन करे. Understand these decisions in that moment are not right or wrong. It would be right or wrong if you do the follow-up action. Let's say you go to Amritsar, you put in a lot of effort, you win all case competitions, you do excellently well in the academic tasks that are assigned to you, you do your placement prep appropriately, you get placed in a very good company. Then going to Amritsar was a wonderful decision. Let's say you go to Ahmedabad, then you don't do any of those things, and then you get thrown out of the college. Then going to Ahmedabad was a very bad decision. So in that moment, when you're deciding whether going to Amritsar is good or not, I don't know. Now, when you say familial obligations, I'll give you two situations. एक, मेरे घर वाले नहीं चाहते हैं कि हम ज्यादा दूर जाएं. If that is the familial obligation or that is the pressure being put on you, तो भाई it is very very unreasonable. We are adults, we are going for a post graduation course, लेकिन हम घर से दूर नहीं आना चाहते क्योंकि ऐसी हालतें हैं. तो दिक्कत. If the other thing is, let's say somebody is significantly ill in the family and I may have to visit over and over again in order to provide support, then perhaps it makes sense. लेकिन ये मत करना कि घर वाले बोल रहे ज्यादा दूर मत जाना. That is like the weirdest reason. देखिए, let's say you go to Amritsar and you get placed in Amazon and they say कि भाई सियाटल में हेड ऑफिस में हम तुम्हें काम देंगे, तब घर वाले ये बोलेंगे ना ना सियाटल मत जा बेटा क्योंकि बहुत दूर हो जाएगा घर से. वो नाटक थोड़ी होने वाला. We are old enough to live away from family. Then again, I don't know. These are two random hypothetical scenarios I'm coming up with. Uh, I hope the second one isn't true. पहला वाला है तो घर वालों को हड़का के मना लेंगे. नहीं नहीं, मेरे को जान अगर अच्छी जगह मिल रही है कहीं तो हम वहां चले जाएंगे. ओके. Where can I find best sets of LRDI question for practice? Simulation spot. You can find best sets for LRDI questions for practice everywhere. Start practicing. ये दिस माइंडसेट ऑफ डूइंग, मेरे को बेस्ट सेट चाहिए, मेरे को बेस्ट मटेरियल चाहिए, मेरे को बेस्ट वीडियोस चाहिए, मेरे को बेस्ट ये चाहिए, इज परपेचुएटेड वो रिपीटेडली बाय पीपल जो कुछ करते नहीं है, बस मटेरियल इकट्ठा करते रहते हैं. यू स्टार्ट डूइंग LRDI क्वेश्चंस. You want, there are several YouTube channels who have it. देर इज प्रणव पंत सर का एमबीए करो एप्टीट्यूड जैब, उनके चैनल एमबीए करो पे नहीं, एप्टीट्यूड जैब पे उन्होंने बहुत सारे अच्छे सेट्स डाले हुए हैं। हमारे चैनल पे थोड़े बहुत सेट्स हैं, क्वांटिफायर्स पे बहुत सारे सेट्स हैं, एलिट्स ग्रेड पे बहुत सारे सेट्स हैं, मल्टीपल जगह पे बहुत सारे सेट। कोई भी एक जगह उठाओ और करना शुरू कर दो बस। वंस यू स्टार्ट डूइंग इट, द स्किल विल गेट बिल्ट अप। अगर पहले से ही अगर कोई प्री डिफाइंड बेस्ट सेट्स ऑफ एलआरडीआई क्वेश्चंस पे प्रैक्टिस करा तो फिर तो मजे ही आ जाएंगे। तो और लेट्स से if you are not looking for solutions, just the questions, past year mocks उठा के कर सकते हैं। past year mocks are also an excellent source, लेकिन करो, don't waste time in finding the best sets, solve whatever set comes in front of you। आशिता, आई डू नॉट प्रोवाइड जीमैट कोचिंग, क्योंकि जीमैट कोचिंग प्रोवाइड करने का सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है मेरा कि भाई मेरे को जीमैट का पेपर हम मस्त बता सकते हैं कि भाई क्वांट क्या रहेगा, अंग्रेजी क्या रहेगा, और वो आईआर क्या रहेगा, एडब्ल्यू में क्या रहेगा, वो सब काम मेरे को आता है। लेकिन जीमैट के कोचिंग का जो सेकंड पार्ट है जहाँ पे बी स्कूल एडवाइस करनी पड़ती है कि भाई ये अच्छा कॉलेज है, ये सेफ्टी स्कूल रहेगा, वो रहेगा, मेरे को बाहर के कॉलेजों का कोई आइडिया नहीं है। सो गिवन दैट आई कैन नॉट प्रोवाइड एंड टू एंड फुल सर्विस ऑफरिंग देयर, तो हम जीमैट कोचिंग नहीं रखते। बस यही हालत है। जीमैट का पेपर तो काफी मैनेजेबल रहता है। आई डोंट नो, नो हा हा जी स्ट्रेटेजी लॉल। ओके, ये डीआईएलआर बंडल में जो प्रैक्टिस सेट्स हैं उनके विंडो सोल्यूशन भी होंगे या ओनली टेक्सचुअल सोल्यूशन? आशु गुप्ता, आई डोंट नो इफ यू आर द सेम पर्सन हु हैड आस्क्ड इन द ग्रुप, जिस पे हमने बताया था कि वीडियो सोल्यूशन होंगे। इफ यू आर अ डिफरेंट पर्सन आई अपोलोजाइज, बट आई थिंक इट वाज यू। ठीक है, वीडियो सोल्यूशन होंगे। So yes has answered. Will there be a new batch this cycle? I don't know, Malvika. Oh, Malvika, we had to have a talk after that. I have forgotten. Please connect with me over Telegram. We had to have a chat. I don't know if it will be useful given the timeline has entirely changed. But बात कर लेंगे, बात कर लेंगे। ठीक है, for all 500 sets. Yes, Vasu, for all 500 sets. Perhaps more. देखेंगे। Hello, sir. I've got 91 percentile in that this year and I have Excel HR call. Is it possible to convert 99 profile plus 2 years plus? Uh, is it possible to convert? Yes. Is it likely? Not very. But does that matter? मस्त एकदम, मस्त एकदम जान लगा के कर दो। देख, अपने हाथ में एफर्ट मारना अंजलि, अपने हाथ में रिजल्ट तो है नहीं, अपनी तरफ से जान लगा दो। वट एवर प्रेपरेशन यू डू फॉर द इंटरव्यू फॉर दिस साइकिल, HR or whatever else things, if you convert it this year, then great. If you don't convert it, at least it provides good grounding for next year's prep. Please do एकदम जान लगा के पूरा पूरा काम कर लेना। Okay, how are VARC QA classes conducted at your institute? You also provide input in those classes. The teachers provide whatever input, मतलब क्लास लगती है, लोग आते हैं। I don't know what this question is asking. क्लास लगती है, बट टीचर आते हैं, टीचर बता देते हैं, मतलब जो पढ़ना होता है। यश बहादुरिया, okay, right now in such a market situation, even new IMs are struggling for the SIP. So is it advisable to join a tier 2 B school this year? It is never advisable to join a tier 2 B school. Yes, Madhuria. Understand? Bhadoria. Sorry. Bhadoria. The challenge here is market situation ज्यादा अपनी situation देखना, क्योंकि what is how is it, how is it impacting you, where can you perhaps go to, can you invest one more year or not, has cat prep drained you of all life and you want to get be done with it, all of that would come into play। Let's say there are bunch of people every year, there are bunch of people every year, अभी हमारे बीटा में से जिनका एनएमआईएमएस कन्वर्ट हो जाता है। अभी अभी एनएमआईएमएस मुंबई आया था और उनको हम साफ बोलते हैं नहीं नहीं छोड़ दो, ये लेना ही नहीं है, दिस इज नॉट अ बी स्कूल वर्थ इट। Usually those people are people with good academic background, people who have, let's say, less amount of work ex, first attempt था या second attempt था, उनको हम बोल देते हैं। देर आर ऑल्सो पीपल जिनका 3 साल का वर्क एक्स हो गया, जा जाओ तुम निकल लो। पीपल जिनका पता है कि भाई एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में स्कोर अच्छा नहीं चल रहा होता है, तुम निकल जाओ चलता है, अभी अभी के अभी गायब हो जाओ। क्योंकि if joining a tier B2 B school, let's say, I don't know what you would classify as tier 2 B school, I would put IMT in that range. If IMT is the best college you can perhaps go to, if IMT is the best college you can perhaps go to based on your academic profile and your क्या होता है इनपुट ऑफ कैट प्रेप थ्रू आउट द ईयर, इस साल मिल रहा है ले लो। वहां पे जाने के बाद जान लगाते रहना, कंपटीशन विल ऑलवेज बी इमेंस, वेरी मच इन रेफरेंस टू अर्लियर। द डिसीजन दैट यू मेक राइट नाउ इज नॉट whether it is right or wrong, it is more how much do you do the work after it that will make it right or wrong। इसमें यही समझना। आई थिंक यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ माई कोर्स, यस आई एम नॉट एंटायरली श्योर, बट इफ यू वर तो हम क्लास के अंदर मस्त एक एग्जांपल देते जो मेरा एक फॉर्मर स्टूडेंट है जिसके भैया जिन्होंने आईआईटी नागपुर से किया था एमबीए, एंड राइट नाउ ही, मतलब लास्ट इन द क्लास, लास्ट आई हर्ड ही वाज विथ पेटीएम जो 70 समथिंग का था, 77 समथिंग का पैकेज था, एंड रिसेंटली ही स्विच टू फिजिक्स वाला एंड ही इज एट 1 CR का पैकेज एनुअली, एंड इट्स 2014 ग्रेजुएट। सो इट्स नॉट लाइक लाइफ में कुछ अच्छा नहीं कर सकते टीयर 2 टीयर 3 बी स्कूल जाके भी, but then he is an excellent worker, he is very organized, he can motivate people very well, he is very logical, भैया से तुम मिले। So all those storylines are there in place, so going to tier 2 B school is not bad, the work after it has to be excellent। Okay, Kamal Prasad, more DILR practice session this time। I've never had a DILR practice session ever, so more एक भी कर देंगे तो more ही रहेगा। यश, होपफुली सब बढ़िया चल रहा है माचा कैफ। Also, I had one more question. How should I utilize these 3 4 months before MBA internships or courses or study a fancy course beforehand? पता नहीं that Tanish, I'm hoping you have converted one of the B schools you want to go to, and therefore you're asking this question. Otherwise, it would be very presumptuous. But in case you do convert it, जाने से पहले हो सके तो दोस्ती वोस्ती करके, मतलब दोस्तियों में मत फंसना, ज्यादा टेलीग्राम ग्रुप और वट एवर ग्रुप्स व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स गेट क्रिएटेड उस पर ज्यादा उड़ना मत, शांति से बैठ के एक्सेल सीखना, पीपीटी सीखना, बस यही अच्छा चीज है। ये फालतू के कोर्सेज वोर्सेज इंटर्नशिप इंटर्नशिप कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, स्कूल जाके सब सब बेकार, सब बराबर ही है, कोई डिस्टिंक्ट एडवांटेज नहीं मिल रहा होता है कि भाई ओ ये इंटर्नशिप एक्स्ट्रा करके है, क्योंकि अंडरस्टैंड, सी यू डन एन इंटर्नशिप ड्यूरिंग योर ग्रेजुएशन, सेंसिबल, यू डन एन इंटर्नशिप प्रायर टू ज्वाइनिंग अ बी स्कूल, 2 महीना 3 महीना पहले पता चल रहा है कि भाई देर इज नो देर इज नो इंटेंट बिहाइंड द इंटर्नशिप अपार्ट फ्रॉम बूस्टिंग द प्रोफाइल, सो वैसी हरकतें मत करना। फिलोसफी पढ़ने का सोच रहे हैं कैट प्रेप के साथ, वीएआरसी में हेल्प करेगा? आई डोंट नो, अगर फिलोसफी पढ़ने का अच्छा लगता है तो पढ़ो, बिल्कुल पढ़ो। हम फिलोस आई एम नॉट वेरी अवेयर ऑफ हाउ इट विल डायरेक्टली लीड टू वीएआरसी हेल्प, बट रीडिंग एनीथिंग इज हेल्पफुल। देख जैसे कंपैरिजन के लिए हम हर रोज बीबीसी स्पोर्ट्स स्लैश फुटबॉल के पेज पे फुटबॉल के जो भी लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स हैं, अभी ग्वार्डियोला ने बोला आई कांट बी द वन टू टीच हालैंड हाउ टू स्कोर गोल्स, मेरे 11 साल के करियर में हमने 11 गोल मारे थे, हालैंड का भी कुछ थोड़ा ड्रॉप ऑफ चल रहा है और गोल वोल नहीं पड़ रहे थे, तो आई रीड दो सॉर्ट्स ऑफ थिंग्स एवरी डे, एंड आई थिंक दैट हेल्प्स मी इन, मतलब वो जो स्क्रीन के ऊपर अंग्रेजी रीडिंग करने की आदत है मेरी उससे अच्छी बनी पड़ी है। तो फिलोसफी पढ़ने से वीआरसी अच्छी होगी कि नहीं आई डोंट नो, बट रीडिंग इज ऑफ कोर्स ऑलवेज यूजफुल। How is Four and Tapni? They're excellent B schools. Uh, they're excellent B schools. In case you get admission in them, and those are the best places you can go to, do go there. In case you can go to better places, they are not excellent B schools. अब यही समझो ना, there are people who leave I am Lucknow. There are people who leave I am Calcutta, क्योंकि उनको अहमदाबाद ही जाना है. There are people who leave XYZ. तो so Four and Tapni, how are they? How are Four and Tapni? Honestly, Four and Tapni have certain features. Whether they fulfill your aspirations and your dreams or not, that call only you can make. They're excellent B schools. They provide a service that they claim to provide. काम चल रहा उनमें SCM HRD और NMIMSM वैभव थोड़ा प्रिजम्पचुअस, क्योंकि NMIMS का तो रिजल्ट आ गया, ये तो पता है, SCM HRD का रिजल्ट आया नहीं, तो भगवान करे तुम्हारा दोनों जगह हो जाए, होपफुली यू डू एंड अप फेसिंग दिस डायलेमा। बट एज ऑफ नाउ गिवन दैट ओनली NMIMS-M हैज बीन कन्वर्टेड, बढ़िया बढ़िया, NMIMS-M इज द बेस्ट कॉलेज इन द वर्ल्ड। जब कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा दोनों, तब फिर सोचना क्या है। द फैक्टर्स दैट यू शुड कंसिडर आर the kind of job you want to do, and the kind of role you want to get into. What is the proportion of population that gets exposed to that those opportunities? Let's say if there are, simple maths example, I have not looked at the placement reports of either B school to comment appropriately, लेकिन अगर ऐसा समझना कि भाई अगर ऑपरेशंस के 100 मौके आ रहे हैं NMIMS में और उनका बैच साइज रफली 900 का, तो 1/9 11.11% ऑपरेशंस के रोल्स थे, वर्सेस SMHRD में 30 आ रहे हैं, और SMHRD का बैच साइज 2500 का है, तो 12%। तो फिर वहीं पे काम चल जाएगा, 12% वाला जीत रहा है। और देन यू हैव द एडिशनल फैक्टर कि SMHRD में हॉस्टल भी मिल जाएगा, और थोड़े बहुत मतलब हॉस्टल भी मिल जाएगा, खर्चा भी कम पड़ेगा, सब कुछ फायदा रहता है। देन अगेन इट डिपेंड, ऐसा कोई आउटराइट विनर बिटवीन द टू नहीं है। जो कन्वर्ट हो जाए और जो अप्रोप्रिएट लगे इन ऑर्डर टू फुलफिल वट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू डू, काम चल जाएगा। ओके। How to improve comprehension skills in VARC? What to do as daily tasks? Just like any skill, you do it repeatedly. You also analyze, you identify what you did wrong, and then you work upon them. इससे ज्यादा कुछ अलग नहीं रहेगा भाई। एनी थॉट्स ऑन ISP YLP प्रोग्राम? खतरनाक अच्छा प्रोग्राम है, अगर मिल जाए एडमिशन तो पक्के से ले लेना। मतलब ISB इज एन एक्सेलेंट एक्सेलेंट बी स्कूल, अगर मिल रहा है एडमिशन तो ले लेना। इट इज जस्ट दैट इट इज स्लाइटली मोर डायर ऑन द पॉकेट, बट लोन मिल ही जाता है। ऐसे मिल रहा है तो पक्के से कर लेना। मतलब दोज आर माय थॉट्स ऑन द YLP प्रोग्राम। अच्छा, completed graduation in 2023, given CAT 2023, but ended up getting a very low percentile, preparing for 24, taking a drop. What skills can work on along with our preparation? You should be more aware of what drives you, what motivates you, what makes you tick, and also anything that you want to do. Understand, CAT and B schools are supposed to be milestones in your journey towards career fulfillment. They are not supposed to be anything else apart from you getting to a point where you are happy or where you think you want to end up at. So, what skills can you work on? Let's say you want to start a restaurant and then you end up doing a music course. That is a useless skill to build upon. But in case you end up working with some restaurant owner as an intern, you see how क्या कहते हैं, the entire functioning of a restaurant goes, वो अच्छा रहेगा। अच्छा, I have done BSc Physics from DU 2021 grad, 2.5 years business analytics work ex. I have calls from IMT, XIMB, Excel HR course. Do you recommend giving one more year in case things don't work out well? Anjali, again, based on a cursory glance, I wouldn't say you should join any of these. Even Excel HR wouldn't be that great. But then, cursory glance does not have your academic record. 10वीं 12वीं ग्रेजुएशन में हमारे कितना नंबर है? Cursory glance does not have your past CAT का performance. Cursory glance does not have your willingness to prepare for CAT all over again. So, इनमें से जो कन्वर्ट हो जाए, once you have something in your hand, you would be in a better position to say ये मेरे को लेना है कि नहीं लेना है। उससे पहले कुछ नहीं कर सकते। Sonku Sare is a former student. All the best बच्चों। Sonku Sare is a former student who went to PGDBA. जिंदगी में अच्छा ही किया होगा इसने। मतलब the bigger achievement I think more than PGDBA is the last time I met him, he's lost significant amount of weight and he's looking मतलब खतरनाक ही फिट लग रहा था भाई। मतलब I could not recognize him. I've met him in real life. I've met him in real life. खतरनाक ही वेट कर रहा था, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा ही वेट लूज कर लिया इसने। बहुत अच्छा अंकित। आयुष्मान सर, आपके डेली फ्री टेस्ट का डाउट्स का डिस्कशन कहाँ होता है? हमारे ग्रुप पर ही होता है, टेलीग्राम ग्रुप पे। इन केस यू हैव अ क्वेश्चन, यू पोस्ट इट देयर एंड यू आस्क। अदरवाइज देर इज नो डेली फ्री टेस्ट, एज इन अलग से कोई प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं बना हुआ है। वहां पे आप डाउट रिलेटेड टू सॉल्विंग करके एक सेक्शन टॉपिक बना हुआ है ग्रुप पे, आप वहां पे पोस्ट करिए। आई डोंट नो इफ दिस इज अंकित, ये अपना वाला आयुष है कि दूसरा वाला आयुष है, क्योंकि नाम तो सेम है, बट ठीक है, देख लेते हैं आगे। हाउ टू लर्न इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग बाय स्पीकिंग रिपीटेडली। You only learn English speaking by speaking repeatedly. Initially, you will make mistakes. People will make fun of you, but you keep going. You keep on going. Even the most prolific of speakers and proficient of speakers wouldn't be error free. But just having enough faith in your ability that more often than not you will make enough sense that the other person understands, that is khatarnak. Okay, what should one do during the drop year to justify the gap after graduation? Devachid, I think you would enjoy the initial portion of this. शुरुआत में देखना, there have been enough discussions on gap. So don't do anything to justify the gap. Do something that will help you in your long-term career goal achievement. Yo, Kevin, yo, KJ Kevin 1043. How many Blackie converts आपके last batch में sir? I have absolutely no idea. मेरे को एक दो लोगों के नाम पता है, क्योंकि उन्हीं से हमारी थोड़ी बहुत बातचीत है। बाकी आई डोंट ट्रैक एज मच, तो मेरे को नहीं आइडिया है। तो यही है। Sometimes the interviewer is already pissed off beforehand. How to handle that scenario, as I have faced that heat in the past. Mm, you can't. Even if the interviewer is already pissed off beforehand, even if the interviewer is pissed off beforehand, तो भाई pissed off, आप अपनी तरफ से अपना बेस्ट खेल के आओ। थिंक ऑफ इट दिस वे, आप क्रिकेट खेलने गए हो, पिच पे ऑलरेडी क्रैक्स हैं, तो how do you handle that situation? You be more careful in playing with a straight bat and not being expensive in your stroke play. जो कर सकते हो वो करके आएंगे। थिंग्स दैट आर बियॉन्ड योर कंट्रोल, उनके बारे में चिंता तो करिए, मतलब आई आई मतलब चिंता कर ही नहीं सकते। ओनली द थिंग्स दैट आर विद इन योर कंट्रोल, यू कैन परफॉर्म योर बेस्ट इन द इंटरव्यू एंड दैट इज ऑल दैट यू कैन डू। Next, my Rohtak interview was bad because I couldn't answer a lot of eco accounts question. Both CAP and Amritsar were good. Should I give any more interviews? I feel IIT Roorkee and IFT. IFT of the lot is the most prestigious B school. You have a question on whether you should appear for IFT. भाई IFT तो देने जाना ही। I don't know what I मतलब IIT Roorkee is। अब कैप के अंदर let's say you end up at a, I don't know, बोध गया आता है क्या उसमें कैप में, या सैप में आता होगा, पता नहीं। तो let's say if you end up at an Udaipur, तो IIT रुड़की के ऊपर ही होगा, but there could perhaps be worse B schools than IIT रुड़की, तो फिर खतरनाक। डाउट डिस्कशन कैसे होता है सर इन DILR क्लास? क्लास से आधे घंटे पहले आ जाते लोग, पुरानी शीट का डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं। अदरवाइज क्लास के अंदर किसी को नहीं समझ में आया तो हैंड रेस करते हैं। जब टीचर अपना वक्तव्य खत्म कर लेता है, तब टीचर उससे बातचीत करके निपटा देते हैं। अगर ग्रुप पे कुछ आया तो ग्रुप पे चैट शूट पे काम चल जाता है। बाद में जब सेट्स आ रहे होंगे, बड़े सेट्स आ रहे होंगे, अभी तो छोटे छोटे डिस्कशन ही है, बाद में जब बड़े सेट आ रहे होंगे तो फिर उनके वीडियो आ जाएंगे। एनी टिप्स फॉर PI? Stop looking for tips. That is the best tip for PI or anything else in the world. Stop looking for tips. You must have done enough preparation to not look for tips anymore. आप recommend कीजिए ना some philosophy book. I don't know any philosophy book. I have absolutely no philosophy की recommendations. I am हम बता तो रहे, हम BBC स्पोर्ट्स स्लैश फुटबॉल पढ़ते हैं भाई। How to prepare for guesstimates in PI? This is something wherever you're enrolled in coaching, they should tell you top down approach, bottom up approach, standard data points that one should be aware of: population of Delhi, population of Mumbai. How do you break down stuff? What sort of estimation is appropriate? What sort of conversation skills? तो मतलब अच्छी खासी लंबी क्लास होती है इसकी। जहाँ पे भी आप कोचिंग ले रहे हो उनको बोलिएगा, ये आपको सिखाएंगे, क्योंकि अच्छा, पर गेस्टिमेट्स का समझो ऐसा भी नहीं है गेस्टिमेट हर किसी से पूछेंगे। ओनली इफ यू आर चौधरी बन के मेरे को कंसल्टिंग में जाना है और मेरे को ये करना है, तब वो गेस्टिमेट की मार काट करने आएंगे आपके पास। अगर आप सस्ता सस्ता नॉर्मल बात कर रहे हो उनसे, तो गेस्टिमेट की तरफ जाएंगे नहीं। तो आप देख लीजिएगा, इफ आई जॉइन योर कोचिंग इन मार्च, तो क्या मैं कवर कर पाऊंगा सर सिलेबस? आई स्कोर्ड अराउंड 95 लास्ट ईयर। इफ आई जॉइन योर कोचिंग इन मार्च, कैन यू कवर द syllabus? Yes. Will you cover it? I don't know, because that would depend on how much effort you put in. लास्ट ईयर तक हम मई तक एनरोलमेंट लेते थे। मई में ज्वाइन करने वाले भी लोग सिलेबस तो खत्म कर ही लेते थे। सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन हाउ मच टाइम यू गिव एंड हाउ मच टाइम यू हैव अवेलेबल टू प्रिपेयर साइड बाय साइड, कैन इट बी डन? यस। वेदर यू विल डू इट और नॉट, अप टू यू, देखी जाएगी। The fact that he scored 95 last year is a good indication that a lot of basics would already be in place, but that is no certainty. Kevin, I've converted GLI and PGPN. What are your thoughts on their 1 year program? Given you had IT का work Kevin, GLI and PGPM is a great place for IT का work वाले लोग. But of course, अगर SIBM पुणे निकल गया, तो SIBM पुणे will give you a wider array of options. Wider array of options. So between the two of them, SIBM Pune would of course be preferred. How does percentage in graduation affect while summer placements got 64%? Just like it would affect you during your क्या बताएं, selection process, when you are competing with other people who've got better score than you, and let's say some company that is coming over to campus for recruiting people has a graduation percentage cutoff, वहाँ पे दिक्कत हो जाएगी। Even when there is no cutoff, this will always be a sticking point for them कि भाई नंबर क्यों कम रह गए। But then ये समझो, जब आप बी स्कूल के इंटरव्यूज में जा रहे होते हैं ना, बी स्कूल के अंदर रिक्रूटमेंट इंटरव्यूज में जा रहे होते हैं, if you've been shortlisted, the company has already found something in your profile, something in your CV that they found interesting and they want to talk to you. So there will be an area in which you can impress them. ग्रेजुएशन के लो परसेंटेज के कारण नौकरी नहीं लगी वाली हालत नहीं रहती है। परहैप्स फॉर लेट्स से द इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग एंड कंसल्टिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड शॉर्ट लिस्ट ही नहीं आती, बट FMCGs ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, द HULs एंड ITCs, उसके अंदर कोई दिक्कत नहीं आती। आपके जितने भी नंबर हो, फिर वो क्रिएटिविटी देखते हैं, बाकी के काम हम देखते हैं। आई थिंक वी हैव गॉन ऑन for far too long, people. So last message, heavy message that I wanted to give was, देखो, every year, Anastasis Academy provides a lot of free tests. There were a few questions related to free tests in the chat as well. So we provide a lot of free tests. फन चीज ये है कि ना, हम लोग फ्री टेस्ट देते हैं, और हमारे फ्री टेस्ट, we give like 3 RC passages, 3 VA questions Monday to Friday. We give 2 DILR sets Monday to Friday. We give 10 QA questions Monday to Friday. We have different initiatives running on Instagram. We have different initiatives running on different platforms. हर जगह हमारा कुछ 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 नया चल रहा होता है। बट फनीली इनफ, हमारे टेस्ट अटेम्प्ट करने वाले लोग ज्यादा नहीं रहते हैं। एंड देन इट स्टार्ट्स, मतलब मन ही मन में सवाल आता है, क्यों भाई, क्यों ही करें फिर ये काम, बंद क्यों ना कर दें? क्योंकि जब खोल के देखना चालू करते हैं, VRC, देर आर 257 एनरोल्ड पीपल, देर आर 257 एनरोल्ड पीपल, एंड 5 मार्च को चालू हुआ था, नहीं 5 फेब को चालू हुआ था। पहले दिन 60 लोगों ने दिया, फिर 37, फिर 28, फिर 30, फिर 28, फिर 39, फिर 24, फिर 22। अब 15 और 16 तारीख का 11 लोगों ने दिया, 19 लोगों ने दिया। तो ऐसी हालत आ जाती है कि यार फिर मन नहीं करता कि ये कंटिन्यू भी किया जाए काम, क्योंकि अगर लोग नहीं करने वाले हैं, तो क्यों फालतू में इसके ऊपर मेहनत करें। तो सीधा सीधा कोशिश करना, मतलब अगर अटेम्प्ट करोगे तो बढ़िया, अगर अटेम्प्ट नहीं करोगे तो फिर बंद भी कर देंगे। क्यों, पीछे की इतनी मेहनत लगती है, देयर आर इंटर्न्स हु डू एक्सीलेंट वर्क, They sort out the questions, they upload the tests, they release it on time. We have वर्ड मीनिंग्स के लिए अलग से काम चल रहा है. Different platforms, different initiatives. People would much rather go ahead and take paid courses for this. इसका मतलब पेड काम आएगा जब, तब फिर लोग खुशी खुशी कर देंगे. ये जब फ्री में इतना दे रहे हैं तो कोई नहीं कर रहा. अंडरस्टैंड, ये फ्री वाला काम रखा ही इसलिए है कि भाई सबकी मदद हो सके. अगर नहीं करना है तो नहीं करना है. चैन. That will be all for this session, people. I hope you had a good time. I answered to the best of my ability. I don't know if it served your purpose. That will be all. Stopping the live stream now.